Hi, welcome to the Retirement Railroad Matinee Modeling Tip of the Day. I'm Steve, and today and going forward for a little while, we're going to get back into JMRI. All right. In the past, we've gone through Decoder Pro and how to program our locomotives. We've looked at Sound Pro, although I use Digitrax Sound Loader. Right, to update and change sound profiles within a decoder. All right. And we went into Panel Pro and set up our panel or our layout diagram with the switches so that we can use our remote mouse to point to and throw the different switches here on the Retirement Railroad. We also have the option to use a panel with descriptors and buttons that we can press to do the switches as well. I like the diagram. It's a quick, easy visual reference that everybody can understand looking at the railroad. All right. And finally, what I want to get into is operations, getting JMRI set up to run the operations here on the Retirement Railroad. All right. So let's take a look at that and see what we need to do in that regard. So let's switch over to the screen mode. All right. And as you can see right here, if you can see my mouse, is Panel Pro. All right, when you download JMRI, you get an icon for Decoder Pro, Sound Pro, and Panel Pro. All right, so we're going to go into Panel Pro. And it's going to open up for us. Get the JMRI logo, and we're going to come in here and load my configuration profile. And what that is how JMRI talks to the railroad, etc. Okay. And it takes a few seconds for this to load up properly. And we will eventually see the Panel Pro menu screen. And here we go. All right. So we have Panel Pro menu screen, and we have the Y throttle, because I've already set up Y throttle here. And it can be a little bit confusing because there's a Y throttle app for your cell phone, and then JMRI also uses Y throttle, totally different, to set up the Wi-Fi interface between JMRI and your home wireless system. So I've got mine set up already, and we're going to turn the track power on through JMRI. I know you can do it off a throttle, but we can do it right here as well. Okay, and we're turned on. So the first thing we want to do up here on the Panel Pro menu, we want to come over here to Tools and click on that, and then we want to drop down here to where it says Operations, right there. And you'll notice there's a number of different options here. The first thing we need to do is go to Settings. And there we go. Now, you input your the name of your railroad, which you should have already done in Decoder Pro, etc. Mine's the Retirement Railroad. All right, and then you can put the directions that the trains travel, north-south and or east-west. I have mine set up for all. And you set up the scale. Mine is HO. Okay, and then you set up maximum train lengths. Now these are all the defaults. Okay, I didn't change any of that. And I figure I want to get it up and running. Then I can start tweaking some of these settings. And car types, we want descriptive, and unit of length, feet. You input your optional year model. I say mid-60s, 1968. All right, because the CB&Q changed, merged with the Great Northern and Northern Pacific in 1971. So this is the late period. It still had some steam excursion service, so I can justify that as well. All right, and all this stuff is changing. But the biggest thing to do here is to come over here where it says options and add operations menu to the main menu. Okay? We want to do that, and we want to hit save. Okay? Then we can close this out. Now, doesn't look like anything's changed, but we're going to quit, and then we're going to come back in. And when we come back in, we're going to have an area up here for operations, making it much easier to work with going forward. Okay? So we're going to quit, and then we're going to come back into it. All right. Now I'm going to switch back over to here while we do this. And we will get right back at it. Okay, now it's loading JMRI up again. Here in a few seconds we'll get Panel Pro. I always feel like I want to start humming the Jeopardy theme song. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we're loaded back up, and there it is. Operations is now part of this menu. Okay, so that is step one. That's how easy it is to get started in operations. Now, keep in mind, I am no expert at JMRI, and I don't profess to be one. I have gone into this operations, and I've already pre-done a bunch of things, hit and miss, over the last 2-3 months. Robert over at Flying Crow has a series on operations from JMRI. It's very good. Yeah, if you haven't visited Robert or Flying Crow's channel, go ahead and do that. It's well worth the time, and especially as JMRI. So you're going to see, I'm going to explain, and you're going to see me make mistakes, and we'll work together. I'll show you how I've corrected ones I've already made, and you can watch me correct the ones I'm about to make. With that, we'll wait till tomorrow on my next tip of the day, and we'll start delving into this, because the first thing now to do is start to add in our locations on our layout. So with that, I want to thank you for joining me here at the Retirement Railroad. I'm Steve, and y'all have a great day.